You haven't had a single original thought today. Everything you believe you chose to think about this morning, the news story that made you angry, the product you suddenly want to buy, the person you decided to resent, was handed to you by an algorithm. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. You enjoyed it because your brain, the most sophisticated object in the known universe, has been quietly, systematically hacked. And the weapon? It fits in your pocket. Revelation 1: Social media doesn't give you dopamine. It steals your ability to make it yourself. We've all heard the dopamine hit speech. Every like is a tiny drug, but that's the kindergarten version of what's actually happening. The real story is darker. Your brain doesn't just release dopamine when you scroll. It downregulates your dopamine receptors. It literally reduces the number of receptors available to feel pleasure, like a nightclub that starts charging double because it knows you'll pay. The more you feed it, the less it gives back. But wait, it's not the dopamine that's addictive. It's the uncertainty. Here's where it gets strange. Neuroscientists discovered that dopamine doesn't actually spike when you get a reward. It spikes in anticipation of a reward you're not sure you'll receive. The maybe, the pull to refresh, the notification dot. Slot machines work on this exact mechanism, and nobody designed social media feeds this way by accident. The infinite scroll was patented specifically to eliminate the natural stopping point your brain needs. You were never fighting temptation. You were fighting engineering. Revelation is social media doesn't just change what you think. It physically changes the shape of your brain. Neuroplasticity means that habitual scrolling literally reshapes your neural architecture. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for long-term decision-making, impulse control, and deep focus, shows measurable thinning in heavy social media users. Meanwhile, the amygdala grows more reactive, more connected, more dominant. You are, in a biological sense, becoming a different person, a more anxious, more impulsive, less focused version of who you used to be. The most dangerous rewiring isn't in your reward system. It's in your sense of reality. Social media doesn't show you life. It shows you a performance of life, filtered, curated, algorithmically sorted to maximize your emotional reaction. And your brain uses this fake data to benchmark your own existence. The result, a generation that compares its internal experience to everyone else's external highlight reel and loses every time. Revelation 3: Real-world example. The disappearing attention span isn't a metaphor. In 2004, before smartphones, the average office worker switched tasks every 2.5 minutes. By 2020, that number dropped to 47 seconds, and it now takes an average of 23 minutes to return to deep focus after a single interruption. If you check your phone 5 times an hour, you are never reaching the cognitive state where your best thinking lives. Social media hasn't just shortened your attention, it has barricaded the door to your own potential. Revelation 4: The science they buried. Social media activates the same brain regions as PTSD. A 2021 study in JAMA Pediatrics tracked over 6,500 adolescents. Kids using social media more than 3 hours a day showed significantly elevated symptoms of depression and anxiety. And fMRI scans of heavy social media users show activation patterns in the amygdala and hippocampus strikingly similar to patients with post-traumatic stress. The constant exposure to outrage, tragedy, and social rejection signals is traumatizing the brain at scale. We are living through a mass neurological event with no name. Revelation 5: The deepest truth. Social media is making you forget who you are without an audience. Researchers now identify social media self-concept disruption, where heavy users struggle to articulate who they are unless framed in the context of how others might perceive it. The self becomes a content strategy, the life becomes a brand, and somewhere underneath the metrics and the aesthetics, the actual person, the one who existed before the algorithm learned their triggers, slowly goes quiet, not deleted, just muted, waiting for you to log off long enough to remember they are there. Now here's where I'm supposed to ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, I'm aware of the irony, but here's the difference. This channel exists to make you more conscious, not less. So if that's the version of the internet you want more of, you know what to do.